You lie!
I don't lie. I protect, and I feed, and I teach. And all I ask of you is that you follow 3 simple rules. 3 rules. And you know what? You can't even do that!
Diamonds and gold. The house was awake.
I can fight.
Shadows and monsters, the hallways, they echoed and groaned.
The Upside Down is an alternate world that mirrors the world of Hawkins in Stranger Things. With Season 5 right around the corner, Ross Duffer said that Answers for the Upside Down is really what the basis of Season 5 is about. Season 4 already revealed several things about Eleven's past and gave major hints at who the big mastermind behind it all is. The Upside Down is a mysterious alternate dimension that exists alongside the real world. It was mysteriously created on November 6, 1983. However, this was not the first alternate dimension that had been discovered. In 1943, the USS Aldridge was accidentally sent to an ancient alternate world. This place, described by Henry Creel as a land untouched by people, was home to the creatures and beings later known as part of the Upside Down. After this, Creel discovered several other things, including the Mind Flayer. Using his psychokinetic abilities to reshape and gain control, he forged a collective hive mind, allowing him to control even more creatures and beings. 4 years later, Eleven made psychic contact with the Upside Down from across dimensions that Dr. Martin Brenner ordered. She unintentionally opened the Mother Gate. Ordered to make contact with the Demigorgon, she tore apart the fabric of reality, forming a rift in the wall that connects to the Upside Down, somehow creating a perfect physical copy of the human world.
You have a wound, Eleven. A terrible wound.
The gate. I opened it.
And it's festering. And it will grow.
While we find out more about the backstory and history with the Hawkins lab and its importance to the Upside Down, however, we see the first effect of the Upside Down in Season 1, Episode 1, where Will Byers goes missing. Opening with the National Laboratory, a scientist is attacked by a Demigorgon that escaped the lab. When Will bikes home, he encountered the creature and disappeared into the Upside Down world. We also get an introduction to Eleven, who reveals her powers to the other 3 boys. With Will being the first person to vanish, Barb also disappears into the Upside Down. After the second encounter, people start to speculate that it could be something more and begin to investigate.
You went back and saw a bear, you're thinking.
I don't know what it was, but I think maybe it took Barb. You need to check behind Steve's house.
We did.
Because
There's nothing there. There's no sign of a bear.
And no car.
What?
Stranger Things has affected electricity so much. But how? This has become so well known, but the explanation for this can be very much overlooked. Technology interferences first began in the Byers' home with calls. All Joyce could hear was intense breathing from the other line until electric sparks would shoot and explode. Strong interference with electricity allows Will to talk to Joyce through lights, and we see this type of communication again in Season 4. But how does the Upside Down affect the electricity so much? Mr. Clark briefly explains the theory of traveling to another dimension and how it would take an extreme amount of energy to tear a gate in the fabric of time and space to get to the other dimensions. He goes further into saying how once open, it would interrupt the magnetic field and other things.
Picture an acrobat standing on a tightrope. Now the tightrope is our dimension, and our dimension has rules. You can move forwards or backwards. But what if right next to our acrobat there is a flea? Now the flea can also travel back and forth, just like the acrobat, right?
Right. Yeah.
Here's where things get really interesting. The flea can also travel this way, along the side of the rope. He can even go underneath the rope.
Upside down.
Exactly.
Seeing how the two worlds are connected, in Season 2, a worker at Hawkins' lab is sent into the Upside Down to repair a power box after the equipment fails. Once this issue is fixed in the Upside Down, the power in the right side up comes back on. This shows that the electricity in both dimensions is somehow interconnected and suggests that the Upside Down's electrical field has an extensive reach. There are also moments when characters can hear each other across both dimensions. For example, in Season 2, Jonathan hears Nancy calling for help.
I'm right here! I'm right here! Nancy! Just follow my voice!
And in Season 4, the group in the Upside Down can hear Dustin.
Okay, try it now!
This suggests that the barrier between the two dimensions is already very thin. Given this, it makes sense that a large system like the electrical grid would also show signs of being affected by the connection. The Hawkins lab held test subjects that were experiments on. Everyone knows about 11 and more infamously 8. However, there are other test subjects as well, and the show has taken its time introducing some subjects besides 11. In Season 4, Henry Creel, or 1, is revealed to be the first test subject. He was born with extraordinary psychokinetic powers that allowed him to manipulate others' perceptions. Hawkins found out that they couldn't fully control him and implanted a chip that disabled his abilities. 2 is the oldest test subject to be experimented on. He targets 11 after she beats him in an exercise and often bullies her. Using his powers, he consistently attacks 11 when the cameras are off. 8 was already a part of Project Indigo when 11's mother became a subject herself. 8 used her powers to create convincing illusions and escape the lab, becoming a known character in the series and later working with 11 and the group. Also appearing during Season 4 is 10, who has powers outside telekinesis. He also has the power of remote viewing and is able to see outside his present location.
It looks like we have a new winner.
Vecna is closely aligned with the Upside Down. Originally, Henry Creel was then transformed into Vecna after being sent through a gate into the alternate universe. In the early stages of his life, he used his powers to torture his family, which interested Dr. Brenner, who took Henry as his first test subject. Henry tricked 11 into removing his chip in order to murder the other subjects and workers. 11 overpowered and sent him through the gate where he transformed into Vecna. He went into the area as an explorer and found a strange, storm-like cloud of particles. Using his powers, he shaped it into a giant, spider-like creature, later known as the Mind Flayer. Throughout the years, Vecna made multiple attempts to eradicate humanity. He first possessed Will Byers and sent an army of Demogorgons to attack the Hawkins lab. Both times, 11 used her powers and overtook him and closed the gates. Later, Vecna took a direct approach, using his powers to murder Hawkins residents, each death opening new gates to merge the worlds. They nicknamed the murderer Vecna after a Dungeons & Dragons character. The groups attempted to defeat Vecna. 11 used her powers to confront Vecna within his own mind, while Nancy, Steve, and Robin
have already lost.
No. You.
While biking home, Will ran into a Demogorgon, and while he tried to run away, the creature got him and brought him into the Upside Down. Spending nearly a week in the Upside Down, he managed to find a way to communicate with his mom through the Christmas lights by manipulating electricity. Although Will returned to the normal world, he began experiencing visions of the two worlds flickering in and out of existence.
Toronto. a little longer. Will. Will. Will?
The Upside Down is a fictional concept, but its existence draws on theoretical physics and speculative science. It resembles ideas from parallel universes, multiverse theory, and dark matter hypothetical. In Season 1, Episode 5, the boys go to their science teacher Mr. Clark to find out if other dimensions can exist. His analogy is from the string theory, which assumes there are extra dimensions to our universe that only tiny particles can travel through. With hidden sector physics, we have something similar to the Upside Down, a world made of other particles that would just pass through our world like it wasn't even there. For Season 5, there have been a number of speculations on what might be to come. A few recurring themes have been surfacing based on what the Duffer Brothers have said. In an interview, they said that Season 5 will feature quite a bit of Will, who was lost in the Upside Down and now retains his ability to connect to Vecna on some sort of psychic cross-dimensional level. As well, they said that the final season will focus on the Upside Down and answer some of the questions fans had about it. The theory is that all of this could be tied to Will, and the Upside Down is some sort of projection of a real-life Dungeons & Dragons of which he is the ultimate dungeon master. The origins of the Upside Down remain one of the most intriguing mysteries in Stranger Things. Whether it's another dimension from human experimentation, a parallel world always lying in wait, or a manifestation of something darker tied to Hawkins itself. One thing is certain, the Upside Down is more than just a setting, it's a character in its own right, shaped by those who encounter it. As the series unfolds, we're left with a mix of answers and questions, but perhaps that's the point. The Upside Down reflects the fears, secrets, and trauma of the world. It's a mirror held up to Hawkins and its people, forcing us to confront the unknown and our own roles in shaping it. For now, we can only speculate what the final season offers. Some clarity, or will it leave us wondering more? That wraps up today's video. Thank you so much for sticking with us to the end. As always, remember to give this video a thumbs up, comment your thoughts, and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all our latest content. Until next time.